Versatile Mage. Chapter 425. Almost wiped out. The sky had turned dark. The starry night rose above the open-air dueling ground. The swift Star Wolf was worthy of his name, as the power of the stars granted him strong recovery capabilities. The wolf, known for its endurance and stamina, fought even more fiercely after its special runes began absorbing the power of the stars. The swift Star Wolf would have a hard time fighting many challenges at once, but in one-on-one battles, those ranked below 100 had no chance of defeating him. As the swift Star Wolf continued to stack up his stat sheets, Mo Fan took advantage of this time to recover his energy. He did not cast any intermediate spells, as his energy was only sufficient to cast a few of them. However, that was not the case with his basic spells. Those ranked slightly higher were often relatively experienced in battles. They could kite the swift Star Wolf around or even inflict some damage on him. When Mo Fan joined the battle with his extraordinary lightning field and a fire burst with half the power of an intermediate spell, his opponents ranked beyond 100 had a hard time against them. Initially, when it was only going up against Mo Fan, the students had already found it troublesome. Now, with the summoned beast and its summoner teaming up, the situation was much worse. Mo Fan clearly knew he would be fighting for a prolonged time, or maybe he was just too experienced at bullying people. He knew how to preserve his energy so he could still face the rest of the challenges. The numbers continued to stack up. As a matter of fact, only some of the duels could be considered fair and just. Those beyond the 400th rank basically gave up straight away. Those ranked close to 200 were like practice dummies. Their only hope was on the students with 2 soul seeds ranked higher than 140, who might be able to end the battle when both the Demon King and his summoned beast were tired. This Mo Fan is an absolute headache. The Dean has already told him to keep a low profile. Instead of avoiding trouble, he simply challenged the entire fire school. Is this what he thinks keeping a low profile means? Mr. Gu Han had arrived, rubbing his temples. He thought, he's not at the main campus. Why can't he, a new student, be more modest? Despite his grumbling, when Mr. Gu Han saw Mo Fan standing on the stage, his eyes were filled with relief. This kid, it's good that you're alive. As long as he was still stirring up trouble in the school, that was all he could ask for. Wei Rong could no longer stand watching the duels. If anyone were currently suffering the most mentally, it was definitely this elemental director. He was deeply regretful at this time. What was he thinking? Trying to give this kid a hard time just because Dean Xiao had handled the transferal application himself. He ended up giving himself a great headache. How was his fire school going to retain their reputation in front of the other elements? Next, ranked 101st, Zhao Ji, Wei Rong yelled out with a tired voice. Wei Rong had been teaching at the campus for many years, yet it was his first time feeling so dreadful when reading out the challenger's name. It was like his heart had been sucked dry. He had forced many arrogant students to submit to his will, yet he had completely lost his temper against this particular transfer student. As the 101st ranked Zhao Ji walked up to the stage, the eyes of the spectators immediately glinted, especially those from the fire school, like a flicker of hope in the midst of despair. It's Zhao Ji. He's surely the strongest among all the challengers. Those ranked in the top 100 were not allowed to challenge someone with a lower rank, thus most of them were clenching their teeth, as Mo Fan had stolen all their attention. I've already known that those ranked below 100 are a bunch of idiots. Today, this transfer student has finally proven my point. If I, Kun Le, were to challenge him, I could easily defeat him and his pet. A student ranked in the top 100 said disdainfully. That's right, the experts in the top 100 were not allowed to challenge him. How infuriating, to see a transfer student doing whatever he wants. To be honest, you so-called experts are all hypocrites. None of you treated him seriously at the beginning, and now you're boasting. Countered a female student with a rather straightforward character. Mo Fan had infuriated the entire fire school without a doubt, Yet the students from the other elements were impressed by his courage and capabilities, unlike those who always pretended to be talented. Those false-faced people were looking down at him, yet their restlessness had already betrayed their intents. Rank 100 is like the dividing point. If Mr. Wei Rong had placed him at the 50th rank, this mess would be over by now. Now, we can't do anything but bear the humiliation together with those low-ranked idiots. Double innate elements. I don't think it's really that impressive. It's not like he's the only person with innate talent. What do you say, Dongfang Ming? Said a girl with a bowl cut. Dongfang Ming's lips twisted, but he said nothing. The girl obviously had no idea and added, Dongfang Ming, why are you so quiet? Dongfang Ming rolled his eyes. He was not in the mood to talk. Initially, he had a great chance of joining the enforcement union after graduating from the school. He was already a probationary judge, yet he somehow stumbled into Mo Fan, who destroyed the path that his family had laid down for him. Dongfang Ming clearly remembered that during his battle against Mo Fan, the latter did not even use his summoned beast. He also had a shadow element equipment, which he had not used so far in the duels. This Mo Fan had only used his blood tabby right at the beginning. God knows what luxurious equipment he still had. One who was rich enough to level up his basic spells to the 4th tier could not possibly only have a pair of boots. His summoned beast is completely exhausted. This Xiao Ji has a high chance of winning the duel. He must be the strongest among all the challengers, said someone in the crowd. Xiao Ji did find himself with a huge advantage. The Swift Star Wolf was obviously not as fast as before, and his attacks were weaker. The Swift Star Wolf was also covered in wounds. Since it was the fire school, every challenger had the fire element, and some of their flames had prolonged burning effects. As the wounds stacked up, it was severe enough to influence his movement. Mo Fan sent the Swift Star Wolf back to his home dimension, concerned about the wolf's recovery. When Mo Fan withdrew the beast, the elemental directors were startled. Don't tell me that he still has a contracted beast. Wei Rong was left speechless. Contract summoning was the intermediate spell of the summoning element. Normally, a contract summoning would be a few times stronger than a beast summoned through dimensional summoning. If Mo Fan had also achieved the intermediate level with his summoning element and summoned a contract beast that was stronger than the Swift Star Wolf, his fire school was about to be wiped out. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.